Okay, so week 4 coding project. So we'll start with step 1. Create a list of integers as specified and subtract the first integer from the last integer. Now, because steps A and B do the same thing, I used a method for this. So scroll down. Here, the method takes the size -1, which is the last, and subtracts the first, and returns the result. Okay, so step 1, our list, first minus last method returns the first minus last. So let's play this again. Okay, and to double check, that's 90. We take the first, subtract that from the last, 90 minus 3, we get 90. Now, step 2, we do the same thing, just with a larger list. So I used random generator. I print out the array just so for sanity check. The last element 7 minus the first element 43 is minus 36. That checks. So as long as you do the last and not hard coded, you can do any element of any size, or you can do the last element of any array. Doesn't matter the size. Okay. Now let's go to step 1C. Use a loop to iterate through the array and calculate the average. So we just add up all the values for each integer in the array and divide that by the size. That gives us the average. So the average values of the array is 46. Now, step 2, create an array of strings with the given names. Use a loop to iterate through the array and calculate the average number of letters per name for the result. And then use a loop to iterate through the array again and concatenate the names together, separated by spaces, and print the result. Okay, so the first one, we create an array. We go through the length of the names of the array, and we add that to our initiated variable, summoning length, and then we divide that length, or we did divide the number of characters by the length of the array, and that gives us the average length. So we can see that one here. The average number of letters per name is 3. It's like 3.8, but the way Java works, it rounds down. Okay, now we concatenate the names together, separated by spaces. So we'll loop through all the strings and names, concatenate them together with string and a space. So we get Sam, Tommy, Tim, yada, yada, yada. You see it here. Okay, step 3. How do you access the last element of an array? Oh, I typed it out. The last element of an array is accessed by indexing the length of it -1. So it doesn't matter how long it is. You should be able to get it unless it's an array length of 1. Then the last is the first. In order to get the first, you just use the 0 index. That's step 4. Okay, step 5, create a list of a new array of int called name links. Write a loop to iterate over previously created name and add length of each name to the name links array. Okay, so we create a new, initialize a new variable that'll hold the lengths, and we loop through it for names.length -1, add the length of each name to this new placeholder. Now the sum of integers in the name lengths is 20. Okay, step 6. Write a loop to iterate over the name lengths and calculate the sum of the elements in the array. Print result to console. Okay, so again, oops. Write a loop to iterate over the name lengths in the array and calculate the sum of the elements in the array. And just did that. Yep. Okay, step 7. Yeah, initialize, loop through it, and we got it. Perfect. Now, step 7. Write a method that takes a string word, an integer n as arguments, and returns the word concatenated into itself n number of times. So I use the method down here, string multiplier. So we initialize the result, we loop through it n-1 number of times and add the word to result n-1 number of times. So I typed in hello 3 and we get hello, hello, hello. Yep. Print it out here. Let me get this here. Now, step 8 was just create a full name using a method. You pass 2 names separated with a space. Our method here does that full name maker, first name, last name, add a space between, return the result. So we get Octavio Sanchez. Okay, step 9. just a placeholder array, and I used array size 100. Write a method that takes an array of int and returns true if the sum of the ints in the array is greater than 100. So let's scroll down here. We are on true. We add these up, we get 13, 14, 70, 20. That's definitely going to be more than 100. We do get true. So initialize it, run through the array, add the sum of each integer to this. If it's greater than 100, return true. If not, false. We get true. Okay, step 10. Write a method that takes an array of double and returns the average of the elements in the array. Okay, so here's our double array. Use average of double array method. Scroll down to step 10. Initialize the double counter, loop through all of the doubles in the array, sum them up, divided by the length, return the average. So the average values of the array I passed through, 97.425. Okay, step 11. Create an array. Write a method that takes two arrays of doubles and returns the average of elements. Returns true if the average of the first array is greater than the average of the second array. So I used this double array from step 10, gave it a new one, and then I used first list bigger method. So I initialize the first counter, initialize the second counter. I loop through the first array and I loop through the second array. I do this separately just in case the array lengths are different. And then return true if the average, so the sum divided by the length of the first array is greater than the second. Otherwise, return false. For this one, the second array was larger than the first, so we returned false. Okay, now 12, we'll buy a drink outside. It's a method that takes a Boolean and a double and returns true if it's hot and you have more than $10.50. So I pass true, but I pass $8.50. So we should expect a false. So here it is. We do our check. If it's hot outside, it's true, and we have more than $10.50, return true, otherwise false. And we see down here, we return false. Okay, now for 13, make your own custom method. When I wrote this, my phone was getting low on charge. So I created a little method that will tell you to, hey, plug your phone in if your battery's dropping. So you input, it takes one input, an integer, and doesn't return anything. It just displays a message to charge your phone. So if you're greater than 60, you're okay. You still got time. If you're greater than 40, it's probably time to plug your phone in soon just to protect your battery life. If it's less than 40 but greater than 20, your battery's starting to get low, you should probably plug it in. Just above 1%, it's about to die. Plug it in or it's dead. And anything less than 1, you get a black screen. So I typed in 30%. We're less than 40 but greater than 20. It returns your battery is getting very low. And that's it.